Today I want to talk about Will Johnson, Alan Bowman, and Arik Gilbert, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about, 3 massive stories happen. All I do is go work out. I come back and I'm like, goodness me. Will Johnson announces his commitment to Michigan, which we widely thought was going to happen. Alan Bowman surprised the hell out of some of us, going from Texas Tech tortillas to maize and blue blood. And then, of course, Arik Gilbert decides he is going to decommit from transferring to Florida and said that he is not going to make a decision or let anybody know about his decision until he is on campus and enrolled in classes. Now, there's a lot of stuff to get at in there, but let's start with Arik Gilbert since that's where we ended with me laying these things out. So Gilbert is a 5-star tight end, the highest rated tight end in composite history. Dude had over 1,800 yards receiving at Marietta, leading them to a state championship, and was a star player for LSU as a true freshman in a year where they needed a star player, right? Between him and Kayshon Boutte, you had 2 of the most dynamic underclassmen pass catchers in football. Terrace Marshall opts out late. Jamar Chase didn't even play the 2020 season. And yet and still, it felt like in 2021, LSU is going to be right back in it because all Ed Orgeron does is eat and recruit, because that is how good their 2021 recruiting class was. That's how good their 2022 recruiting class looks to be. And their 2020 class is already paying dividends. I mean, Max Johnson, TJ Finley, I thought were outstanding, and they might still lose the job to Myles Brennan, which is going to be, I think, a really interesting quarterback derby that is 3-way, with TJ Finley probably being the most tooly quarterback of them, Max Johnson having the best win and showing the most moxie out of any of them with his win against Florida on the road with just 55 scholarship players available to them. And of course, Myles Brennan, who everybody thought was going to be the guy and who started out as the guy and who got beat by what was eventually a Heisman winner and the dude that led LSU to the 2019 national championship in Joe Burrow. But Gilbert is interesting in this way. Arik Gilbert can decommit, commit, go into the portal as many times as he wants to, quite honestly, because he's that good and your team wants him too. I am not going to listen to any of you tell me about why you think Arik Gilbert is somehow going to be wishy-washy or you can't trust him because he's going to commit and decommit. He could be a merc every single year of his college career because he's that good. And when you are that talented, you get to make the rules. That's how capitalism works, right? Because you all want to win. And it felt like Dan Mullen was pulling rabbits out of a hat after losing Kyle Pitts to the NFL draft, getting Arik Gilbert to come in there and place him. After watching basically all of his pass-catching offense leave, he's got some tailbacks like DeMarcus Bowman who can help him get back to good with a running quarterback who can also toss it around in Emory Jones. It felt like, cool, Florida was going to be right there, able to at least challenge Georgia for that SEC East championship. But now that's in limbo. He may end up at Florida. He may end up back at LSU. He may end up at who knows where, right? But I thought it was interesting that he decided to say out loud that these are his plans, which also means that your coach is probably reaching out to him, because that's the thing about recruiting. You got to let the world know for the world to know. There are some kiddos that will go into the portal and not tell anybody. Or there are some kiddos that just don't want to be loud about their recruiting and where they're visiting and how they're feeling about it or drop lists. They just want to go about their recruiting. That's not what Arik Gilbert's doing. He wants the best deal for Arik Gilbert. And knowing what we know about how it ended for him and how involved his mom is in his life and his recruiting, I expect mama's going to have some things to say about where he ends up going. Because my man got homesick, and you know what's close to home? Georgia. You know what really wasn't on the list? Georgia. You know what's probably back in play? Georgia. Do you know what it would be like to have JT Daniels, Arik Gilbert, Darnell Washington, Kyrus Jackson, and friggin' George Pickens to go along with that bevy of tailbacks? Like, Kirby, go sit in the corner over there. Let Todd Monken run this. That would be so much fun. But not as much fun as perhaps watching Will Johnson and Keon Graves go at each other here in the next couple of years. Because Will Johnson announced his commitment to Michigan coming out of Grosse Pointe as a 5-star corner, 6'3", enormous corner, just hours after Keon Graves decided he was going to commit to Ohio State. And I feel like some of this is choreographed, right? Because you know what somebody's going to do. So you decide that you're going to counter-program them. And then we had a safety commit to Texas and all of this, right? Like this Sunday, this February 28th, has been wild. And so wild that now we're getting into Alan Bowman, who apparently is going to compete with J.J. McCarthy and them to be the starting quarterback for Michigan this season. Alan Bowman, who comes out of an air raid offense, who was doing a pretty damn good job for Matt Wells until he got hurt. His replacement ends up transferring to Central Michigan. Then they bring in somebody else to replace him. So he goes into the portal. Baron Morton is there. Tyler Shuck comes in. Like, this has been glorious for me. I love watching all of this. Like, we had so many guys enter the portal that 247 Sports puts out list of the top 10 defensive end transfers, the top 10 prospects in the 247 Sports transfer portal, the top 10 tailbacks in the transfer, the top 10 quarterbacks in the transfer. It's been all over the board. And yet still, the one at the top of the list for everybody, Arik Gilbert, still doesn't have a landing spot. And it's February. That is ridiculous to me. Now, there are also guys like Dabo Sweeney who are loud about, I don't think the portal's a good thing. You're going to have all these kids going into the portal. You're going to find out they ain't got no homes. Arik Gilbert go find a home. Like, what would be just the most ridiculous thing is find out that Arik Gilbert ends up transferring to Clemson. Because Dabo Sweeney would be like, yes, sir, please, come right on in, sir. It doesn't even matter that we lost Mike Jones to LSU. It doesn't even matter that we lost a 2018 5-star cornerback to the transfer portal. No, sir. We're getting you in with DJ Uiagalelei in a year where we expect Justin Ross to be back to good. Oh, yeah, we winning. I feel like you can't have it both ways here, dog. You can't have it both ways. And yet, we're still going to have y'all out here stopping for the man. Instead of getting behind these kiddos who are leveraging this system that was designed to work against them for their benefit. Here for it. Like, wait till name, likeness, and image, or name, image, and likeness, comes out to where we got kiddos who have their commitment videos sponsored, who have their recruiting sponsored. Do you realize how much money was on the table for a Ty Simpson announcing where he was going? You know what other, I don't know, mattress family furniture might have wanted to sponsor this? Or, dare I say it, FedEx in Tennessee want to do that? Like, there's so much to be said and done here that it is so much fun to watch how all of this is working out. Kudos to Michigan for pulling off the double whammy on the day that Ohio State got its 11th commitment, but you still got a ways to go because read a stat today, Rutgers has won more bowls, 6, in the last 20 years than Michigan has won, 5. Jim Harbaugh shuffled his staff around, got a bunch of 36-year-old and unders on the staff now. We'll see if it pays dividends. But goodness me, man, this is about to be a whole lot more fun than any of y'all bargained for. I'm here for it. All right, hit me below with what you think. Doses.